Yeah, right. I feel like whenever we get the Nuggets Sixers, Embiid always
Right.
sits. We never get to see Embiid versus
You never get
Jokic.
them.
Yeah.
We are live though. Happy Monday to all. Hope you all enjoyed the weekend as much as I did. If there's anybody on the planet that's due to just get rocked, you're looking at them. Like, there's a 1 in 6 day incoming. Oh yeah, Matt, I saw you had a hot weekend too.
Yeah, I hit. Yeah. So yeah, I feel the same way you feel. If there's anybody that's going to get rocked, it's going to be me.
Yeah. Well, I have a bad history of, I don't know what it is, but this dates back 3 seasons now. For whatever reason, afternoon day NBA games, like Christmas Day, MLK Day, there's always day games. Like these afternoon NBA games always get me. I can never seem to get them right. Hopefully that trend, hopefully that trend ends today. But yeah, we got 11 games. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that's kind of relevant because like what Matt was just saying a minute ago, he was like, talking about Embiid. He's got a back-to-back where he plays tomorrow against the Nuggets. We have to guess which game he's gonna care about and get minutes in. That's the problem with these days.
I hate that. I hate that. And I think you guys both sent in a lot of picks. I think I got all of them on here. So if I'm missing a graphic, I'll just type it. But I think most of them should be good. So let's go ahead and get it started. Let me one second. Load the graphics up here. All right. So first up is Houston on the road in Philly. And this is the game we were literally just talking about. Is Embiid going to play? He's listed as questionable. Philly's on a back-to-back. They have Denver tomorrow. So this is quite literally the game we were just talking about. So let's go with Rockets plus 7.5. Sixers minus 7.5. And I'll just put pass as the third option. And the reason you can't really figure it out, because this 7.5 line, this could be the line whether Embiid plays or not, because Houston hasn't looked good. Eason's still out, who's their best defender. And if the Rockets have shown us anything recently, it's they can't make stops without this guy. So Eason's out again for the Rockets. So even if Embiid's out, I would still lean Sixers. Now, I didn't do anything in this game, so I'm just going to put Sixers minus 7.5 up for me and pass the mic to see if these guys like anything. I'd lean Sixers or pass for me.
Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I do like. Man, this guy burns me all the time. But I'm staying away from the sides because of that. Like, I do think Embiid's highly relevant to whether I would play the Sixers minus 7.5 or not. And to be honest, like if he does want to play against the Nuggets tomorrow, maybe Adam Silver gave one of them a call and was like, "We need an Embiid Jokic game. Like you can't sit this one. I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to be like a 7-figure fine or something, right? Like then maybe he cares more about tomorrow. But either way, I'm going with Jabari Smith, and I'm going to take an over 12.5 points because that to me is kind of independent of whether or not Embiid is in there. And the thing that I want to take too is rebounds for Jabari Smith because that's where Philly's most vulnerable to power forwards. And Tari Eason not being in is huge for Jabari Smith, right? That's the dude who takes away his numbers. They do similar stuff on the floor. I would argue Tari Eason does a lot of it better. But for this game, like if Jabari's in, the thing that annoys me about him is if he's not making his shots, then he seems to just not try around the rim. But this is tailor-made for him if Embiid's not in there to be able to get to the rim. It's insane how different it is, right? When Embiid is in, they're a top 3 team in terms of defending inside the paint and defending shots inside of 5 feet. And as soon as he's out, just not the case. And if Jabari Smith decides that he wants to attack the rim this game, then he's going to have all of it open to him, even to a degree when Embiid is in, as Şengün is going to do his best to pull Embiid from the basket. So we'll see who Embiid even guards. But more importantly for this one, like for Jabari, I think the points will be there because the volume will be there, the minutes will be there without Eason, and that's where I keep going back to with it.
Matt?
Yeah, so I had a tough time with this one. I ended up just doing Fred VanVleet over 3.5 made 3-pointers, but this is a smaller half-unit play for me. Most of my plays, I put 1 unit. This one's just a half unit. This is mostly a play because the Sixers style of defense and point guards like Fred VanVleet, who A, just fire away in general, and B, fire away from deep. Because the Sixers play drop coverage with their centers, guys like Fred VanVleet or stretch bigs tend to put up a lot of 3-pointers against the Sixers. Even in games Embiid doesn't play, that's still kind of the case. Last time the Sixers and Rockets played, Fred VanVleet hit 8 3-pointers against them, I think on 14 attempts. Whether that's Embiid, Mo Bamba, Paul Reed, whoever it is, it's just it's the drop coverage on the pick and roll, and they just get smoked by guys like I said, Fred VanVleet, point guards who can shoot. And I also like the fact that Fred VanVleet's just not shy in general to shoot. In the past 10 games, he's had 4 games with 10 or more attempts, another one in which he's had 9. And this is also one of the strategies that I like to do the most is kind of just bet the opposite of whatever's recently happened. Obviously, it's not foolproof 100% of the time, but Fred VanVleet's gone under in 3 straight games. The 4th game, he hit 7. So it's streaky 3-point shooters. I think it streaks back the other way in this one. So I take the Fred VanVleet 3-point prop. But again, that's just a smaller half unit play.
All right. So you guys both took Rockets overs in this one. Our poll heavily leaning towards Philly. 54% you said you would lay the points to 24% said you would take the points. 21% said they'd pass. Next. Pelly's at Mavs. And this one is just riddled with injuries. I mean, this would be a cool game, but who the hell's even playing? So I'll run the poll. But this one is a straight pass for me. So Luka's definitely out. Lively is doubtful, I believe. And then on the Pelican side, McCollum and Ingram are questionable. And even though Ingram, not nearly as huge a part of that offense as he used to be, which is weird. The volume of his shots has gone way down. I felt like the Pelicans last year, he would take every single shot. So the whole dynamic of the Pelicans offense has changed. So maybe Ingram being out, not as huge of a hit to the Pelicans as it used to be. But I think Dallas plus 4.5 is a sharp move here. So I'll put that up for me. If you're asking, hey, I really want to bet this game, Kyle, what would you do? That's what I would do. I would go Dallas plus 4, but I'm not betting this, and I'm not advocating you to do so either. Modi, anything here?
Yeah, I actually really do I have Kyrie Irving under 33.5 points. It's just too inflated for my liking. His over-under was 27.5 last game against the Pelicans, and he put up 33. So his point total went up 6 points because he's had 2 good games in a row. He blew up against the Knicks. He had a good game against the Pelicans, but 33.5 is just too rich for my blood. And it's not even like he consistently hits this over in games that Luka misses. If we're taking the 33.5 number, he's only gone over it once. Granted, it's 4 games that he's played without Luka, but still, it was the 44 against the Knicks. And generally, the Pelicans do have a pretty tough defense because of just their size against undersized point guards. And their defense has been playing better recently over the past 10 games, second best net rating in the NBA. And aside from the 33 points that Kyrie put up against them last game, they don't give up a ton of points to point guards. We all remember Fox, I think, had 2 points against the Pelicans. Steph Curry had one of his worst games against the Pelicans. Jamal Murray went under against them. And I was looking at Underdog NBA, and they have all the guys you listed as questionable, they have listed as probable. So I don't know if just 2 different sources are categorizing it differently or if they got upgraded.
Let me check.
So yeah, anyways, the Kyrie play, I think it's just way too rich for my blood. So I took his under anyways.
And I think Josh has a Kyrie graphic here too, I saw.
Yeah, I can just go right into that. But I'm looking at the NBA injury report, and I still have Derek Lively as questionable, but Derek Jones Jr. is probably not playing. Neither is Luka, and Dante Exum's not playing. So that's the main guys. But
and what about on the Pelican side?
And then on the Pellies, did Zion get downgraded because he was?
I see Zion probable.
Yeah, he's probable. Yeah, he's playing.
Probable,
Yeah,
but McCollum and Ingram.
I have Ingram as probable as well.
Oh, so RotoWire has him as questionable.
Yeah, I think they're wrong, to be honest, because he was always probable on the official NBA report, and it is relevant, but the plus 4 is sharp, honestly, either way. It's just without Derek Jones Jr. too, they're honestly they're just dwindling when it comes to big men. So that's why it's a little bit scary, because I have a bunch of unders for this game, and one of them is Kyrie rebounds. And I do want to come clean to anybody who didn't know that I took Kyrie under 44.5 PRA against the Knicks and got 44 points.
Kyrie always kills the Knicks, though. He's our murderer, bro.
Yeah,
he loves it. You're 100% right. There's still teams that are I'm bringing it against the Knicks for sure. And he's definitely going to be one of them, especially because he was supposed to lose that game, and so he just went Kyrie on him. But in this one, the other thing about the Pellies game than the last game against the Mavs, they didn't play anybody, right? The only 2 starters that played in that one were Joval and Herb Jones. And then everybody else was a lot of Dyson Daniels and Jose Alvarado and company. So even Kyrie scoring in that one and then it going up is maybe he's going to try more in this one. But I would agree that 33.5 is too high. I took the rebounds because they're just not there for him. And this is such a good rebounding team. I can't see him just getting all these defensive boards from the top of the key, where they're inevitably going to be playing a zone because nobody's going to be able to guard Jonas Valanciunas one-on-one or box him out one-on-one without a ton of help. So as soon as the ball goes up, it's like everybody who's down low, which is going to be a part of the zone, is going to be going to try to box him out. But I still don't think they'll have that much success because it doesn't seem like Lively's going to play. But for Kyrie, like the rebound chances aren't there, man. So I was trying to figure out, everything's too high, like you were saying anyway. It's all bloated and inflated for Kyrie. So what I'm looking at is just he doesn't go over this without Luka, like you said. I think he's so much more focused on scoring that he doesn't have the energy to do this is a big part of it. He's got 10 rebound chances a game with Luka, averaging about 5.5 boards. And then without Luka, it's like it doesn't go up at all. It's the exact same. It's like 9.6 rebound chances. Like it's the same. He's playing in the same spots. I would just argue he's playing more minutes. Played 40 last game. He's it's not the same level of like go get the rebound. Plus, with all those bigs in there for the Pellies, I do see them attacking the glass and probably having a field day if Derek Lively's not in. So I probably would stay away from the 4.5 myself, but Kyrie's my favorite bet. Yeah.
Kyrie under 6.5 rebounds. Got
Yep.
it. All right. Our poll likes the Pellies. And by the way, if you like the Pelicans, there's some strong trends on your side. They have been awesome on the road. Slipped up a couple times recently, but there was a stretch where they won and covered. I think it was 6 or 7 in a row on the road. It's one of the best road teams in the NBA over the last month. So I don't hate your decision making if you're on the Pellies there. But
I had one more too. I think I gave you.
I do have another one. I thought you were done.
Right, cool.
I figured you skipped it or something.
No. We segued to Kyrie, but I do also like an under for Tim Hardaway Jr. And as all these Mavs just keep like falling, I'm like, well, damn, who is going to get rebounds then? I might be on the wrong train here, but THJ the assists are great. The dude doesn't pass. That's not why he's out there. His potential assists are at like 2.3. I mean, that's hilarious, right?
God.
Yeah. So how's he going to get 3 assists if he's not able to do that, right? So the rebounds are the only thing that scares you. I was going to put the PRA in as well because that's all the way at 31.5, and I wouldn't be mad if you take that. But obviously, if he decides that he's just going to go 7 of 15 from 3, there's not much you can do about that for the points. So I just stayed away and went with the rebounds and assists because the chances aren't there. The rebound chances stay the same. He goes under when Luka's not in as well. It's not like these guards start rebounding more because Luka's not there. Luka was taking boards away from forwards, not from guards, right? So so I'm good with both those dudes unders.
Cool. So Kyrie's under rebounds, Hardaway Jr. under rebounds and assists, and Kyrie's under points. A bunch of unders there.
Yeah.
Our poll is leaning Pelicans, like I said. Next, Orlando at the Knicks.
Do we have props up for this game that's about to tip off?
Which one's about to tip off?
No, I'm saying like this game gonna tip not that long from now, and we don't have props.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't even know that. I'm on a side. Well, I'm always on a side. I actually do have a bet in this one, though. Finally, something that I'm actually betting. I'm on Orlando here. And this is coming from a Knicks fan, longtime Knicks fan. The Knicks always have trouble with the Magic. I don't know why. In fact, they haven't beaten Orlando since February of last year. Orlando's 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 against the Knicks. Trust me, I'm a Knicks fan, and I've watched many games. We just don't show up against the Orlando Magic. Not to mention, it's a nice little buy low spot for the Magic here. They've lost 3 in a row. They were really banged up, and not everyone follows the injuries to the role players. So I don't think people realize they lost 3 games in a row, but there was a bunch of little pieces out, and some of those are still out. Franz Wagner's still out, which is huge. Wendell Carter's questionable. Let me see if he's still questionable. Yes, he's still questionable, but I like this either way. A couple of the role players are back. Jonathan Isaac's back. Not sure how much of the floor he'll see, but he's back in the rotation. Markelle Fultz is back. He was banged up for most of the beginning of the season. So I think it's a nice little buy low spot on the Magic. And inversely, I should say, it's a sell high spot for the Knicks. Everyone's loving the Knicks right now. Line is a little bit sketchy the way these two teams are playing recently. Why wouldn't the Knicks be laying 9.5 here? It's because the Magic always play the Knicks tough. Knicks not the best home team. And Jalen Brunson's questionable for the Knicks. But again, I like this bet whether Brunson plays or not. I think Orlando's live here. I think they beat us. I like the Magic. There's no props open, so you guys don't have any leans on this one?
Yeah, I passed.
Oh, I forgot to run a poll. Run a quick poll.
No, go ahead. I was just saying it's too random. I just don't. Why don't is someone not playing? Like, why can't we even get Julius Randle props? It's just what's catching me out. Like, is he not?
I didn't get it
because it's so dependent on if Brunson's playing for him. I don't know. We could still get like a Dante DiVincenzo prop. Like, I don't know. Something, but it all sketches me out. So yeah, it's like, this is such a bettable game. I bet on these two teams just as much as any Eastern Conference team because I'm out on the West Coast, so I'm betting on a ton of West teams. But like as far as the East goes, I love betting on these two teams. There's so many angles all the time with like how they play differently in different places and whatever, but can't get anything from it.
And another thing, so I know the Knicks this would be so Knicks, right? They show up on Christmas Day and the holiday, they beat the Bucks. Then they show up on New Year's Day and they beat the T-Wolves. Like the Knicks, these holiday games are showing up, and then against a little bit of an injured down Magic team, that's the game we lose. Trust me, I know this Knicks team. I like the Magic. This line was at 7 and dropped to 6.5, so clearly some sharp action somewhere came in on Orlando and bumped this number down a little bit. So, yeah, I'm on the Magic, and it's one of my more it would probably make the top 5 bets for today. I do like it.
Hell yeah.
Our poll is definitely leaning New York. 53% to 34% leaning Knicks, and only 12% pass. We're betting this one, huh, guys?
Yeah.
Community's betting this one.
I'm riding with you on the Magic. The more you talk about it, and the more you're like, yeah, the only dudes they're missing are Wendell Carter Jr., Franz. They got like 4 really good role players they just got back.
Right. I always like Jonathan Isaac too.
Yeah.
I like the guys that play good defense and don't show up on the stat sheet that no one knows about. Like I like those guys.
And Fultz is back. He's turned himself into a good player.
I love Fultz too.
His career.
Yeah, you were probably one of the Philly fans cursing him out on Twitter 3 years ago.
No, dude, I was giving him standing ovations. I was rooting for. I wanted him to be good so badly. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, watching him come into his own last season was awesome.
It's great. Yeah. Very much.
Shout out Phillies fans for the recent like really good fandom, by the way. They did that for Trey Turner when he was struggling also. They like cheered him to the plate. Like that's a really good turnaround for y'all.
Don't ever give those people respect.
See, people like Sauce are living in the 90s when they're booing drunk Santa Claus and they're throwing
bad
snowballs.
people. They're bad people.
They were bad people. They were bad people.
I think they're making a come up.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's move on to a possible Eastern Conference Finals preview here. Pistons Wizards.
Get it.
So I'll go first because my very simple on this one. So obviously, as we know, Cade Cunningham's injured. If Bojan Bogdanovic also doesn't play, who's scoring points on the Wizards here? And Bogdanovic may play, by the way. He's listed as questionable. Maybe these guys have more of an insight on whether or not he's playing. I wrote down on the ticket, Wizards or pass. If Bogdanovic doesn't play, I will lay 6 points with the Wizards because I don't think the Pistons can score points. But I didn't bet this as of right now because of if Bogdanovic plays, I'm probably more split. In fact, I might even lean Detroit at the +6. So I'm going to stop talking about this game because I don't like it enough to even waste any more of your time.
I think that's the first time all year somebody said I'm going to lay 6 points with the Wizards.
First time ever.
Words that have never been uttered.
Yeah.
I know Matt Modi has a Bogdanovic prop that he likes if he plays.
Yeah, this is a dart throw, another smaller play. It's Bogdanovic to hit 4 or more 3-pointers. Like you said, he's currently listed as questionable, but the problem with the Wizards is their defense is so bad that the books overinflate every prop against the Wizards are so inflated. Like Jaden Ivey's points are at like 20. He's barely scored 20 all year, even with Cade out. So I kind of try to find other ways to target them, and it's the hope that people are able to get inside against the Wizards defense with ease because they have just zero inside. They no resistance on the inside.
No resistance on the inside.
No resistance. And then hopefully it's a bunch of kick out opportunities to someone like Bojan who's just going to shoot a ton. Like that's what he's there for on the Pistons. It's to stretch the floor. So if he plays, I think he's not going to be limited in terms of his minutes. So again, I don't have a ton for this one. It's just like maybe he fires away, and for plus 240, like I think there is some value there. But again, unit size that down.
Yeah, if the Wizards are forced to collapse defensively, could
exactly.
Yeah.
And Bogey's great because he's going to get minutes. There's 2 dudes on the team that are getting minutes between him and Cade, right? And Cade's not playing.
Yeah.
So he's auditioning for whomever's going to trade for him.
Right.
Like that's what Bogey's playing for right now. So he is going to get 33 minutes because it's like you got to put him out there and show how good he is still. And he is. He's still getting buckets on a good stats, bad team guy right now.
He can score.
But he can score and he can help, man. He can help anybody, right? Like he's like what Joe Ingles used to be, but it's still better probably, right? And maybe not quite the passer, but either way, for this game, I did take a Kuz over 24.5 points because that's unaffected by anything. It's really hard to find stats to take it under on anybody on either of these teams, right? Like there's nothing that's going to support you to go. He might not get his points. For Kuz, it's two main things for me with Kuz is that he's been going down low a lot more. And I wanted to take the rebounds, but I just went for the points because I do think the volume is going to be there for him. My point is they've needed Denny Advia a little bit less. And so he's been in even more. He's taking shots closer to the basket, which Detroit, not good defending the rim, not good anywhere, but certainly they started the season decently well defending down low. And now the defensive field goal percentage for them down low is just skyrocketed. So, Kuz is going to be able to get stuff if he attacks the offensive boards, which he has been. He had like 7 rebounds in 2 different quarters in a game recently, which was absurd, or 6 rebounds in 2 different quarters in a game. So he's definitely going at it. There's nothing else to it, man. Like he's attacking when they're supposed to win. He seems to do better. Like if you look at Kuz in wins, it's always higher. It's closer to like 28, not 29 points per game, which there's not very many wins, right? So he's only done that a few times. But the point is like he does it when they win. They should win this one. So I'm going to ride the Kuzma wave with that one.
Kuzma over 24.5 points. Of course, we're talking Pistons, so Eric Shipley is in the comments. Pistons money line. This man is unhinged.
He's nothing if not consistent.
He shares his bet slips in the Discord too. He bets like $200 on the Pistons money line every game. Like he shares the slip. He's not just like trying to be funny. He's really betting.
Is it profitable?
No.
Because they're only getting like plus 280, plus 300.
No, it hasn't been profitable. Betting the Pistons against the spread has been profitable the last dozen games or so, which I also think he does. I think he splits his. I think he also bets the Pistons against the spread, but he definitely bets the Pistons money line every game. I can vouch for it. I've seen the slips. He's actually nuts. So anyway, our poll's leaning Wizards there, which as I mentioned is the same way I would lean, 48% to 30% leaning towards Washington. Now let's talk about a game with some playoff contenders, and then we're on to the Hawks Spurs. And I give you Hawks Spurs in Atlanta.
Gotta love the NBA.
Knew it was coming.
So we got San Antonio +8, Hawks -8, and I'm going to put pass as an option. All right. I have a bet for this game. Either you guys want to go first, though?
Sure, I'll go first. I also have a bet. It might be my favorite one of the day. It's Victor Wembanyama, 20-plus points. It's -125. You can get it at ESPN Bet. I generally don't love the -125, but they're just so much of an outlier compared to every other book that I decided to keep it as is. I will say I'm also taking him for a smaller unit size on 25-plus points as well. The Hawks defense is a joke. And despite the fact that Wemby is like 7'4", he plays more like a forward than he does a center. He shoots from the mid-range. He attacks the rim. He does not have a center's shot profile. And forwards are the position you want to target against the Hawks. Like they're terrible. They're the second easiest matchup when it comes to power forward point props, according to props.cash. And the creator of Ballpark Pal just created a basketball site, Courtside Pal. So I've been diving into that a little bit. And Wemby's shot profile, again, lines up with more of that of a forward, and the Hawks give up the 3rd most points per game to someone of his shot profile. And he's been playing really well recently. He's hit 20 or more points in 6 of his last 7 games. And the Hawks are just in total free fall. Their whole team is up for grabs except for Trey and Jalen Johnson. And why isn't Trey up for grabs is my question, but that's a separate conversation. Jalen Johnson's awesome. Sure, hold on to him. Trey, you can get rid of him. But Wemby's been playing great, and 20-plus points. Like, again, he's cleared in 6 of 7 in a juicy matchup. I don't love the -125, but I still think that's a good play.
Josh?
No. This is literally the only game that I'm like, just can't do it. Can't do it.
All right. Well, I have a bet, and it is San Antonio +8. I like it so much to the point where I think I'm missing something. What's going on here? This is definitely a very square, very public dog. Not worried about it. I'm taking the Spurs +8. For starters, I could probably give you one sentence is enough to bet this. The Atlanta Hawks are 3-14 against the spread at home. 3-14. If you've been betting the whole season blindfolded, just saying, fade the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta, you're up a fortune right now. They're the worst in the NBA, the worst home team in the NBA against the spread. But not to mention, the Spurs have been quietly playing some better basketball recently, especially on the road. San Antonio, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games. And the way they've been doing it, the way they've been staying more competitive in these games, just aligned perfectly with what I would want to see to fade this Hawks team. They've been connecting a little more on the 3-ball recently, above the break. As we know, it's a glaring weakness in the Hawks defense. They've even been playing solid defense in transition. As we know, the Hawks like to push the tempo. I like it, but like you can see in the pie charts at the bottom left, according to the data, everyone's betting San Antonio here. The poll that I just ran, everyone's clicking Spurs. So maybe we're all missing something, and maybe the sports books are about to clean us all out. But yeah, I definitely like Spurs and the points here. I'm on the public dog. All right.
Wow.
Like I said, everyone's clicking Spurs. And by the way, the line was at 7.5 at 6 o'clock this morning. It's now at 8. So yeah, no question. If you're on Hawks -8, super sharp move here, but. As somebody who looks at this every day, the Hawks have been cooked as a super sharp move at home several times.
Yeah.
So that hasn't meant anything. So yeah, I'm on the Spurs. Next.
Weird post just came out that Joel Embiid is a game time decision, but if he plays, he's not on a minutes restriction.
Thanks for the info there.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So we know the exact same that we knew a minute ago?
Yeah.
But if he does play, he's going to play like the whole game.
Yeah. All right.
It's like when an insider gives out a scoop and then another insider has to add context that helps literally nothing, but just to have their name on something.
Yeah,
That's literally
yeah.
what that was.
Quote tweet. Yeah, I quote tweeted it with nothing.
Yeah.
I follow the underdog accounts. I'm sure you guys do for all that stuff. And the best is when they'll be like, so-and-so is a game time decision. And then like 8 hours later, like the next morning, 2 hours before tip, they'll tweet out so-and-so is a game time decision as if it's an update.
Yeah.
New information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, like we assumed it was a game time decision until you tell us otherwise.
Otherwise.
All right. Warriors at Grizzlies. Let me check an injury status on JJ. Still questionable. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I don't know if I would lay 7.5, 8 points with Golden State against a G League team right now.
I mean, that's basically what you're getting with the Grizzlies at this
That's
point.
fair point. So I put Memphis plus 7.5. No interest in betting this. If Jaren Jackson Jr. plays, maybe I'll throw a few dollars on the Grizzlies at plus 7.5. But this didn't make my ticket. Memphis or pass for me.
Do you have something, Matt?
Yeah, this one I don't love. But
Is this
I'm
a
taking
Draymond
Steph Curry.
Green prop I see here?
No.
Oh, that's Josh's. Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, I'm on Steph Curry over 26.5 points. This is I feel like as square as it gets, but in a matchup where literally the entire team on the Grizzlies is hurt and nobody needs a W like the Warriors and like Steph Curry specifically after how bad he's been playing.
Wow.
I could just see this being a situation where it's just a get right game. Like they're just going to pile it on a Grizzlies team that they once beefed with, even though that was like 7 rosters ago at this point for the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And if you look at season-long stats, the Grizzlies are one of the toughest matchup for point guard point props. That's when they actually field an NBA roster, which really isn't the case anymore with everybody injured. Even if Jaren Jackson Jr. plays, who's an awesome defender, like Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, everybody's hurt on the Grizzlies. And like I said, nobody needs a W more than Steph and more than the Wizards. He put up 27 last game in a tougher matchup against the Bulls. Prior to that, it was like 3 worst games of his career, essentially. The Pelicans game and the Raptors game were just terrible. So I don't love this one, admittedly, but I am riding with Steph Curry over 26.5 points.
Josh has a Draymond Green prop to give us. Okay, first game back. Under. Okay, Draymond Green under. Go ahead.
Yeah. Crazy if you think I'm going over. I believe he's coming off the bench. That's number one. So
I think that's correct.
We're probably looking at like a 20-minute cap. I do think that they're liable to work this team because I think like the young guys are going to get so much time and they're going to go all out, right? So Trace Jackson Davis and Brandon Pajemski and these guys are going to be going out, Jonathan Kuminga especially, and going out and looking to get like 20 and 10 in some fashion as much as they can, right? So I think those guys are going to be better than whomever we're about to see on the floor for Memphis, guys we definitely have not heard of yet, as they've had to sign like a bunch of dudes up from the G League for those 2 ways. But the Steph one, like I'm with it. Like he needs it. I could see Clay going off. He just took 15 threes against the Bucks. I'm a little bit worried about Kerr's rotation because it's already wonky, and this has the feel of the wonkiest of wonky. This type of game where the Memphis is like literally going like sick. Let's see if we can get that first pick. We are the most obvious tanking team now. just as much, or if not more, than everybody else that's tanking. So I could see them blowing them out. Yeah, it's a tank off for sure, and they're currently doing it better without having anybody play that's an NBA player. So yeah, I think the Draymond under is like the minutes aren't going to be there. I don't need to give you like how good Memphis is versus this and that. They're not going to be playing anybody that's made up these statistics for them this year. But more importantly for Dre, like you don't need him. He needs to like come back slowly and not be himself right away, essentially. So that's how they're going to keep him tempered, basically.
Yeah, here's the thing with Memphis, and I know this is a bad example because they're especially hurt today. But I just pulled up the recent schedule. They're 4-3 in their last 7, and they're not really getting blown out. But of course, without Jaren Jackson Jr. or Bane, so I just want to really emphasize that this is a definite lean for me. I don't want someone to just click the link and be like, "Oh, Kyle likes Memphis." Click off and go bet it. This is most definitely a lean.
Yeah.
So lock of the day, Memphis +7.
So you're saying hammerlock nuke,
right?
Yeah.
That's on those people, dude. When they talk, when they clearly didn't listen to the video, they just skimmed the thing. Then it's like, sorry, dog, I was talking about it. Like,
yeah. Right, dude. There was one guy where I said, I can't even remember, but I literally put a pic on the screen. It was during one of the NFL ones of Week 18. And I was like, gun to my head, if I was forced to bet it, I would take this. But this is definitely a pass for me. And he wrote this long thing about how I'm a fraud because I made this pick.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was like a paragraph about how I'm a fraud for picking. I can't think of the team. But it was like, dude, I literally said I was passing on that game. I know the game. It was Ravens +3 in Week 18 against the Steelers in the meaningless game. And I literally said, like, this is most likely a pass for me. Like, the only reason I'm betting it is because it's a Saturday standalone game. And Ravens +3, I guess. Like, those were my words. Yeah. Fucking crazy.
Like, are you watching this video on mute?
Yeah, like, and then to take the time, like, he took more time to type that than it would have been to listen.
To listen and, yeah. That's funny.
People are nuts, man. All right, so Bulls at Cavs. And I really wanted to bet this one. The problem is when you throw in Max Strus questionable as well. Because, okay, so overall, and I would imagine, I know how these guys think, they probably are on the same page. Like, philosophically speaking, but people, as far as the betting market, is going to overreact to injuries as a whole, especially to star players. Like Evan Mobley and Darius Garland are the two I'm referring to. Cleveland's been playing good basketball without those guys. And I'm not saying they're not important. I'm just saying, as a whole, basketball may be the closest one where star players really do matter that much, but as a whole, people react to star players being out. And Mobley and Garland went down in early and mid-December. Cavs have been playing some good basketball. That being said, if you're going to take Strus out too, we're getting thin. So I'll put Cleveland -4. I've never been a fan of this Bulls team, even though I will admit they've been playing all right recently. I'll put Cleveland on my -4 on there, but if Max Strus sits, I can't do it. So this is a later game. Isn't this a 6 p.m.? Oh, this is 7 p.m. So I got time. So maybe if you're in the Discord, maybe I'll post something later. Maybe I'll jump in on Cleveland, or maybe if Max Strus is ruled in, or I don't know. We'll have to see what the line does. But I would like to play Cleveland here, but as of right now, I haven't, and probably leaning towards not. Either guys?
Yeah, so I have another under here that's going to feel gross, but it's Donovan Mitchell under 30.5 points. It's the first game back from the Paris game where everybody watched him put up 45 points during the day. It's like his over-under is kind of generally hanging around 30, and to me that always feels too inflated. Like, oh, you're thinking Darius Garland out. It's kind of with Luka with Kyrie, like, oh, this guy's out, the other guy must go off a ton with his mouth. But he took 12 games without Garland. He's gone under in 7 of those 12 games, including 4 straight heading into that 45-point game that he just had. Now, the Strus angle of that does make this it's just another ball handler that's out, and Strus has been really good for the Cavs. But it's the Alex Caruso effect. He's like the best on-ball guard defender in the NBA. Like, point guards just don't go off against the Bulls. Trey Jones somehow put up 30 against them, but prior to that, like 5 straight had gone under. Their point total over-under. Steph went under. Granted, he had 27 points on an over-under of 27.5. That's still an under in my book. And on the year, the Bulls have given up the fewest points per game, specifically to point guards. So it's always scary because, like, yeah, he could do what he did last game and put up like 20 points in the fourth quarter or whatever it was. But more often than not, Donovan Mitchell goes under the 30 points. So for plus money, like it's plus 110 at DraftKings. This was, I think, another half unit play for me. So I'm not hammering this one by any means, but it's just these point guard props. Like, I think there's sometimes people just fall in love with the superstars who have just played well recently. I always think you can find some value fading that.
Cool. Josh?
Yeah, no, I agree. That was the only thing I was looking at for this game, honestly, was the Donovan Mitchell under. Always look at these point guard point unders when they're going up against Alex Caruso and the Bulls. Like, that's they limit point guards to the fewest points per game. So I didn't pull the trigger on this one, but with Modi feeling good about it, I might actually just have that take me over the top and put a little half unit on it.
Yeah, Caruso. I don't think people realize how good that dude is. Last year in the NBA, he was 4th of all players in defensive win share. Like, he was the 4th, analytically, he was the 4th highest rated defender in the league. Yep. Like, not just like at his position, in the NBA.
It's crazy for a
100%. I remember talking about him when they were going up against the Celtics, and I was like, man, this Celtics backcourt is the best defensive backcourt in the league. But, like, Chicago's is probably second, and it's only because of Alex Caruso. Versus two of the best defensive guards in D. White and Drew Holiday, but he's just as good as maybe both of them.
That half year with him and Lonzo.
Yeah.
What could have been, man?
I know.
It's crazy that Bulls fans are literally going, what would it be if we had our fifth best player, and we'd be that, maybe he's the 3rd most important, whatever. Like, crazy that he's the linchpin that just fell through.
Is Lonzo like it's a career over? No one knows.
He just started running, so maybe maybe he can come back. I don't know.
He's not in the league because of his shooting, man.
Yeah.
So
that shot, I mean, he developed it a little bit, but that shot at UCLA. Not UCLA.
UCLA.
It was UCLA. Wow. I had to brain for a second. That was some ugly looking stuff.
It's disgusting.
Celtics at Raptors. All right. So this line's now down to 7. Celtics -7. Raptors +7. Pass. All right. So I'll go first on this one. And if you've been watching the channel the last couple of weeks, you know what I'm betting here. Betting the Raps. I love the Raptors, man. The only time I faded them is because they were on the road in Utah, and I love Utah even more. And those are my two. I've been blindly betting Toronto and Utah for a week and a half, and it's done my bank account a service. These teams are playing hard right now, and the crazy part is that, what a gold mine is in any sport. But NBA, especially because the games are so frequently, well, really not baseball because most people bet money lines. Anyway, you know what a gold mine to find is? A team that consistently is covering but losing, because then they keep getting underpriced. And I give you the Toronto Raptors. Okay, so first let me say I understand that the Boston Celtics are 15-5 against the spread on the road, an NBA best, but they were 15-3. They've lost their last 2. But like I said, we're still getting this Raptors team at excellent value, +7.5 at home. They've lost 3 in a row, and they're just 3-4 since R.J. Barrett and quickly joined the rotation. Just 3-4. But you know what? They're 5-1-1 against the spread. And honestly, I love the way they're playing. Like I said, they're coming off an ugly loss to the Jazz. The Jazz might be the hottest team in basketball right now. I swear to God. Go look at. Actually, you would have to watch the games, but they're not just winning the Jazz; they are beating the shit out of teams.
Crazy.
The Jazz in Utah, I don't think they're like the Nuggets in Denver of last year. Right now, they're unbeatable on that floor. So I'm not going to let that game throw me off the Raps. It was also at the tail end of a long road trip.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just a horrible spot for Toronto. So here we are. Back at home, 2 full days rest. The Raptors fans that have been watching this team are excited about it. The casual fan that are just looking at box scores saying, no, they're just 3-4 since the trade. They don't care. But the Raptors fans that have been watching, they know their team's playing better. And I think this place is going to be rumbling for this game in Boston. I think Toronto's live, honestly. Jaylen Brown is listed as questionable. Don't care. I like it either way.
Yeah. I love it. I'm with you on that. I have strong feelings about this as a Knicks fan. We're inextricably tied to the Raptors for a bit. We are, because we watch Emmanuel quickly. I was saying this the other day. It's like the movie The Hendersons, where they have to let the monster go back into the forest because it's for his own good. And they're like, get out of here. We don't love you anymore. That's kind of Knicks fans with IQ. We got to get you need it for your own good to get out of here. And it's working. RJ's all of a sudden Hakeem Olajuwon. He's like 7.5 or 12 from the field every game, shoot like 60%. Like, whatever, great. That's what they are now. And did you bet the Jazz, by the way, before I give my bet?
Jazz.
The Raps?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
It pained me. On the live show, I gave like a eulogy, like I would like to apologize to the Raptors.
Nice. Perfect. I'm going to take Pascal because that's one of the things we can rely on is that Pascal is going to shoot a lot and he's going to get the minutes. So 33 minutes a game, 24 points a game since the trade over the last 7. The thing that I think keeps this low, which is helpful, it's great, I'm happy with it, is that the Celtics do limit power forwards to the fewest points per game in the NBA. But they do that to a lot of different positions. They're a very, very good defensive team. And Pascal is actually a matchup problem with his versatility, right? Like, if Jaylen Brown doesn't play, this is a wonderful bet. And I would play like the 25 plus for Pascal at that point as well. Jaylen Brown's the only defender for this dude. If you look at the matchups and you actually get into the matchups in the box score over the last 3 games that they played this year, Jaylen Brown guards him the entirety of the time. And any time that it's not him, if it's Kristaps, if it's Derek White, if it's Al Horford, I will say Drew Holiday does a decent job as well. But if Jaylen Brown
can guard anybody,
exactly, he can guard anybody. He's not going to be in there specifically for for him. There's other guys like Scotty Barnes is the matchup he probably needs. But either way, like everybody else is going to get cooked by Pascal. And Jaylen Brown has played a lot of second unit minutes, and Pascal comes off and then comes back on with the first unit. Jaylen Brown's not on there. That's why he keeps doing well against the Celtics. Like, I really broke down the minutes runs for him versus who's guarding him on the floor. And it's like just clockwork. As soon as Jaylen Brown's on him, he's somewhat limited. As soon as he's not, he's good to go. He's a matchup problem for Kristaps from out in and out, all that. So the 21.5 points on the 15 shots that he's been getting, I'm really good with that. This should be a good game. So it's not like the only ones he hasn't gone over is the blowout versus the Dubs and then that Kings game. So he should be good in this one.
All right, I like that. Siakam's over. Matt?
Yeah, I like the Siakam one as well. I had Emmanuel quickly over 2.5 made 3-pointers. As good as the Celtics defense is, as you mentioned, there is one area specifically where they struggle, and it's against point guards, and it's specifically point guards from the 3-point line. Like they're the 4th best matchup in the NBA in terms of targeting point guard at 3-point props. And now this was plus money for the first 5 games quickly played for the Raptors. I still don't think it's accurately priced at minus 110. He's hit this in 4 of his last 6 games since he's been on the Raptors. And they just desperately need his shooting. Like they need someone who could do exactly what Emmanuel quickly can do. And he's really good at it. I took the over 4.5 for a unit. I'm debating taking it at 4+ as well and just lowering the unit size a little bit, pumping it up, because if there's any way to beat the Celtics, it's someone like quickly having a good game, probably specifically from deep. The official play is quickly over 2.5, but I do like the pumping it up to 4+ as well.
Love it. I'm down with quickly. I always love quickly. To answer the question, the NFL picks I'm posting on the site around 1 p.m. We got 3 more games. Then we're gonna do the community parlay, and then I'm probably just gonna go post it right after that. So someone asked. All right. Anyway, our poll is leaning Raps. See, I that's how you know you've built yourself a good network. Yeah. You got people betting Raps +7 against Celtics. Love it. It's 46% to 40% though. So a lot of you click Celtics. A lot of you haven't seen the light yet. It's fine. Next, Heat at Brooklyn.
I'm talking about the betting light, really, because who knows how far they're going to go. But
no, they probably won't even make the play-in.
That's what the Raptors want.
As long as they keep covering, though, I'm cool with it. This one, maybe you guys could shed some light on this. What am I missing here? What am I missing with this line? How are the Heat catching two? What? Brooklyn's like the worst team in the NBA. I think Brooklyn's the worst team in the NBA right now. They are terrible. How are they?
It's because my guy Jaime Jaquez is out.
Is he?
Do you want to know why there's no such thing as a lock in the NBA? I had Jaime Jaquez over 23.5 PRA yesterday. He had 22 in 14 minutes.
And then he got hurt
for the whole rest of the game.
It's that's brutal.
I was dancing in my my living room, just like doing the moonwalk. Like, this is the greatest bet I've ever made. And then he's out in 14 minutes.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
There's no way. I mean, Jaquez looks dope. And he was cool last year at Arizona, or was it UCLA or Arizona? I knew he was in the Pac-12. He was cool last year, but there's no way Jaime Jaquez being out has the Heat catching points. I mean, Tyler Hero's back. S-Dot.
And Jimmy Butler.
I got a diehard Heat fan in the comments right now. S-Dot, why are the Heat catching points here? Shed some light, because maybe I'm walking into the biggest trap ever. And in case you haven't been following in case you haven't been following the NBA that closely, this Nets team's 3-12 in their last 15, and I'm pretty sure 2 of those 3 wins were against Detroit. So, this is I honestly think the Nets might be down there with the Pistons, Wizards, and even Spurs are better than the Nets right now. It's the worst team in basketball. Well, Portland looks pretty bad.
And the Nets lost to the Wizards in this stretch as well.
Yeah, but like
when they said everyone.
Yeah, the Wizards are bad. I'm not dying on a Wizards hill, man.
Who do you have?
No, that's what I mean. They lost to the Wizards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's by the way, I pulled it up. It's 3-12 in their last 15. 2 of their wins against the Detroit Pistons. So I don't know. Maybe there's this magical sneaky spot for the Nets that I'm not seeing. Maybe I'm the biggest square ever, but I'm on Miami +2, and obviously I think they win the game. So I'll probably be playing the money line as well. I'm a square. You got me.
Someone clip
playing
that
for Miami. Do we know? Like they don't have an injury report out, right?
I'm just looking at RotoWire, but you never know what they're going on. Tyler Hero's back. Butler's questionable, but Butler's been out, and they've been all right. It's just Jaime Jaquez is the only one that's been ruled out.
Is Martin still out? Because he's not listed on.
No, Martin's back. Martin's back.
Well, so here's the thing: they played yesterday, and all those dudes were like on the injury report leading up to the game yesterday. Then Jaime Jaquez comes out, so I just don't know I don't know a single player that's available for them because they haven't given an injury.
And Bam Adebayo did play 35 minutes last night, but other than that, the minutes on these guys was pretty limited. Like Kyle Lowry, 26 minutes, Hero, 28 minutes. Like they shouldn't have a problem going to back-to-back.
Kyle Lowry's like 42. You got to count for that.
Yeah, but he keeps himself in such peak physical condition.
That's true. He's always been chubby.
It's that Heat culture.
Yeah, that culture, baby.
All right, so what do you guys like in this one? Anything?
I took.
I was playing.
I took Nick Claxton under 13.5 points. Hopefully Bam plays. They haven't given any indication that he's out. If he is out, then this is going to just look like a stupid bet. But the rim running centers against the Heat, they just don't score. They give up the fewest points per game to someone of Claxton's profile, which is literally just a rim running center who's got no bag to himself. The Heat give up the fewest points per game specifically to centers. And Claxton has gone under this number in like 9 of 28 games. Like he's hit it in 2 of his last 3. But outside of that, yeah, he's missed it 9 of 28 games. So it's just like point guards against the Bulls. I take their under. That's how I feel about most centers against the Heat. There's like a very, very specific matchup where if you can overpower Bam, mostly with height, like because Bam's not super tall for a center, but for a guy like Claxton, like he's not going to do anything. So that's my play. If Bam ends up missing the game, then this is going to look really dumb. But I'm going to guess that he plays because there's at least been no indication otherwise.
And S-Dot, who, like I said, he's a diehard Heat fan, he said, grab the money line before Butler is officially ruled in. There's a strong lean that he will play in this one. And he's the type of dude that'll watch, like, the beat writer's daytime interview on the Heat local network. Like, he's that kind of Heat fan.
Yep. That's the guy I need to follow.
Yeah, S-Dot's
Twitter.
But the problem is he'll bet the Heat 82 straight times, and then, talk like if I fade the Heat, he'll like explain why I'm wrong. I'll be like, dude, you bet him 82 straight time. Like, so 60%, 59% of our viewers said they would take the 2 with the Heat, which is as I would expect it to be. Next, we got 2 more games. All right, Pacers, Jazz. I mean, my decision was made before I even looked at this one. I would be on this even if Halliburton was playing. No one can beat the Utah Jazz right now. This team is so good. I don't even have anything written down. I'm just going to pull up in case. Oh, it's down to 7? Nice. I mean, I already got it at 7.5. Just in case you haven't been following Jazz basketball. So not only – check this out. So not only is this team – 11-2 in their last 13. So check this out. They're 11-2 in their last 13. The 2 losses at Boston when they were on a back-to-back. Oh, no, they weren't on a back-to-back. At Boston, at New Orleans. Those are the only 2 losses. In that time, they went into Philly and beat the Sixers. They went into Milwaukee and beat the Bucks. They beat the Nuggets. This team is on a rampage right now, and they're one of the best home teams in the NBA, if not the best. So, yeah, Jazz minus whatever.
I follow the NBA super closely. This is my job, and I'm surprised that they are the 9 seed right now in the West.
Dude, and shooting upwards quickly.
Bonkers. Yeah, I mean, the Lakers are out. The Warriors are out.
Memphis is done again.
Memphis, yeah.
I know that this game is until – that's the problem with these live shows at 11 a.m. Like, this game isn't for 9 hours. Like, we don't really I'm going to be on the Jazz regardless, but as far as props, I understand this might be a little early for this one. But do you guys have anything?
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I do. I have Colin Sexton over 20.5 points. It's minus 102 at FanDuel, which is a pretty good price. And I'm also taking him, I'm laddering him up to 25 plus as well. As the Jazz have been on fire recently, so has Colin Sexton. He's been great. He's gone over this number in 6 of his last 10. One game he missed, he had exactly 20. Another game he missed, he had 19. So yeah, still an under, but he is close to the number that we need him to get. And the Pacers defense has gotten better recently. Like, they were last in defensive efficiency or net rating. Now they're 5th worst. So congratulations to them, but they still, it's like the Wizards, just no resistance in terms of someone getting into the basket and attacking the rim. And so the Pacers give up the most points per game in the paint, specifically in the NBA. And Sexton is someone that's he's going to attack the paint. He's going to draw fouls. And while he's not a plus shooter, he at least shoots enough to keep the defense honest. And he's been able to take advantage of bad point guard defenses. Like, he had 27 last game against the Lakers, 25 against the Pistons. He went over this against Philly. Like, teams that I like to target for point guard props, he's gone over. And this is like about as juicy as a matchup as it gets for someone like Sexton. So that's where I'm leaning here.
Josh?
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I love when Colin Sexton gets minutes and plays tough, because he's always in there like trying super hard. I was looking at Lauri Markkanen because the Pacers are one of those teams, but I didn't hit it. Like you were saying, I've got to dive into this game. I did a lot of stuff on the first half to 3/4 of the games last night and this morning, but I'm still leaning Lauri Markkanen. He's at 25.5. I do think he's ripe for a big game. As you said, like, the Pacers are Swiss cheese, and really the power forward position, if you have a scoring, tall, versatile wing, like, they're in trouble. If Trae Young wasn't on the Hawks, Jalen Johnson would have had 1 million points the other night and 1 million rebounds. Trae Young, I cannot tell you how much I hate his game. Let me get away from that. More importantly for this one, they lost to the Pacers at home, but that Pacers looked awesome without Tyrese because of that. And I mean, they'll probably still look good tonight. I'm banking on that because I do want this to stay close enough that Lowry's in there in the 4th quarter still trying to get buckets, and so I think I'll take him on mostly the points, and I'm considering the 3-point prop as well. A lot above the break threes in transition if you want some, basically.
A lot of whatever you want on the Pacers defense.
Totally.
So yeah, our polls lead to Jazz. If you've been watching this channel, you've been betting Jazz, because I have been like selling you Jazz for the week and a half now.
Knocking on people's doors. Can I speak to you from the church of Lauri Markkanen?
Do you have a moment of your time to spare for the Utah Jazz? All right, let's move on to the last game. Oh, whoops. But with SGA being questionable, it's tough here. We'll pull it up. This is I will put whoa, where's the graphics for it? Did Prop Beaver not send me graphics for this one? Oh, it looks like Prop Beaver didn't do this game. He must have skipped it by accident. So we'll have to go to the old school way and type it. But you know what? Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm leaning OKC +1, but SGA is questionable. And obviously, unless you live under a rock, you know that he's pretty crucial to the team. So
he's good, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good. That being said, as I said earlier, people do overreact to the injury stuff. So I would be down to play Oklahoma City either way, but wait, because if FGA is ruled out, who knows what this line does? You might be able to get a 4.5, 5. So wait, I wouldn't bet the Lakers here. I'll leave it at that.
I would say you would wait for the 4.5, 5, and then take that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't want to put I didn't put it on the ticket. I want to put Oklahoma City +1, and it's not because I'm scared of the injury. It's like, hey, wait it out and try to get some value. That's. But yeah, I would be on Oklahoma City. I'm assuming because of the injury question marks, you guys haven't looked at this one.
Do you think it moves if SGA is officially ruled in?
Yeah, but like I would say maybe. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. There's always a Lakers tax.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, because it's probably not going to move that much if he gets ruled in. So you really only have negative things to happen if you lock it in now. So I'm guessing that +1 includes
there's a few
SGA.
teams where, like, obviously, if a line looks sketchy, you ask why, right? You go, you do some research, try to figure it out. But there's a few teams you don't have to ask, like the Lakers.
Yeah.
In baseball season, the Yankees, when you're like, How the hell are the Orioles plus 105 here? Oh, because they're playing the Yankees, and everyone's betting the Yankees blindly. So there's a few teams where you don't have to ask questions. The Lakers, one of them. People bet LeBron. People bet the Lakers. So if you're like, if FGA plays and you still see Oklahoma City plus 1, I wouldn't even be worried that it looks sketchy. I would just take it.
I just have a lean here real quick. I took Anthony Davis 30-plus points. It's a smaller half-unit play just to have something for this game because I mean, it is a good game theoretically if people end up playing. This is mostly just a fate of recent events for AD. At this point in his career, he's just an incredibly inconsistent scorer. 3 games ago, he put up 41 points against the Raptors. The next 2 games combined, 28 points with 13 and 15. So this isn't really a matchup play because the Thunder do have a good defense and Chet's awesome. It's really just like AD has never been, I guess at this point in his career, like basically since the bubble, not a consistent scorer. Like if he has a couple good games in a row, I'm fading him. Now that he's had a couple bad games in a row, I'm doing the opposite of that. So again, it's just a lean. I wouldn't put a ton on it, but plus money for AD 30-plus points after having 2 down games in a row, sure, why not?
Josh, anything for this one? I mean, injury question marks.
Yeah, no, I'm on the exact same train as you, Kyle. So I'm gonna wait for the stuff because like if SGA is in, this is a ridiculous line, like an absolutely stupid, terrible line if he's in, right? So I might just hit it. Honestly, I know we're saying only negative things happen, but I think I'm still gonna after we get off here look into it a little bit more deeply and take it. To be honest, like OKC also not only the Lakers tax, the Lakers at home tax. Like I don't buy that at all. I hate the Lakers squad right now. So. Yeah, they need to make a trade, honestly, with anything. I'll hit them plus 1, and then I'll come back to it at plus 4.5 and take the money line. Like, whatever. I'm good with it.
Yeah, and I got caught. The Lakers were so good right before the play in the in-season tournament, and I got caught trying to I tried to bring that trend back to life, and I got caught a couple times trying to do that. Lakers at home trend is dead.
Yeah.
They just got their asses beat at home by the Suns, and that is the ultimate, like, okay, time to reevaluate what you're doing.
Yep. Because that was an AD game where it was like, what is happening?
Oh
like, how did you just score 44 points? I don't understand what's happening.
There's nothing more frustrating than holding a Lakers ticket when Anthony Davis is having one of those games. It's just like, dude, how are you the first overall pick? How did you get a contract? Like, it's so frustrating. And then
every third game in the playoffs last year, that's what he would have 2 games in a row, and then he would have 10 points. You're like, what do you do? What's going on?
And then the next game, the game after you bet the Lakers or bet Anthony Davis, he's like unstoppable. It's like so frustrating.
Makes no sense.
All right, so let's do the community parlay, which it hit 3 out of 4, but then it lost. The college basketball one lost. So it's 3 of its last 5. Community parlay, man. The community's been hot. You guys have been hot.
CBB is tough too, man. So
I unfortunately, because of time, I can't follow college basketball as closely as I'd like.
You can't watch 140 games on Saturday.
I know. Well, and also during Saturday, the beginning of college basketball, there's still college football on. Then there's NFL on in the afternoons.
NFL Saturday.
So by the time, right now, I'm really diving into college basketball, and I'm getting into it. I'm having some fun.
Kalkbrenner props. That's all I've been playing.
So wait, did they bet Magic money line? The poll, Magic won that poll. Pistons, Wizards won. All right, first leg of the community parlay. There's a lot of new people too because I got a lot of new YouTube subscribers over the weekend because of the heater I'm on. So if you're new to the channel, what the community parlay is we all vote on parlay legs, and at the end we place the parlay and lose our money collectively as a group.
Except for recently.
No, except for it has hit 3 of the last 5, and one was like a plus 566 and a plus 490, so the one was a plus 180. But there's been some nice hits in there, so it's more just like a fun thing that we do. It's not like this isn't betting advice. It's more for fun. The community parlay started on the baseball show by accident because like people were fighting in the comments, and I was like, guys, I'll put a poll up. That's literally how the community parlay started.
Necessity is the father of invention.
Yeah, like because people were fighting about like I think it was the Blue Jays. It was like people fighting. It's like, fine, guys, I'll put a poll up, and then we put it up. Like, all right, well, what about this game? And then we were doing polls every day.
You want to talk about a bipolar team? The Blue Jays are the most crackhead team.
Are you guys? I know Modai is because he comes on the show. You're a baseball guy, Josh?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love Captain
We're big. We'll get you on here. Our baseball show is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun.
work me over for being a Mets fan if you want.
I'm a Mets fan also, bro.
Oh, okay. You know what it is.
Me and Prop Beaver are both scorned Mets fans.
Is there any
Between
other
the
guy?
Mets and the Knicks, not a ton of good luck.
At least I'm not a Jets fan.
Prop
Yeah,
Beaver's
that's
also
true.
a Jets fan.
Oh, poor man.
If you want to explain some of his really depressing tweets when he has a losing day, he's a Jets and a Mets fan, bro.
Just want to give him a hug.
And the Knicks.
We're on the come up.
Yeah, I think being a Knicks fan the last few years has been a lot of fun. To me, it's not like everyone's like, "Did we win the chip?" But it's like, "Did you enjoy the season?"
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the Knicks seasons."
Yeah.
And like
Dude, the minute they got Jalen Brunson, I was like, this is the best point guard in Knicks history, and he's never played a game yet. And people
Yeah.
were like, you sound like an idiot. Why are you doing this for? I was like, I'm not doing this for clicks. This is the best. Did you ever watch Walt Frazier play in the 70s?
Ray-
when he didn't? All right, then relax.
Ray Felton just turned over in his grave here and there.
He's a lot.
You're forgetting about that 1 month of Linsanity. That's the
true.
best point guard play in Knicks history.
I was actually at I was at Knicks Cavs game 4. It was a Saturday day game, playoffs. We beat them. It was the coolest sporting event I've ever been at, and I've been at it a lot.
Oh, this most recent year.
Just happened. I was just there.
Yeah.
That was the best series I've ever watched.
That was awesome.
Even
And
those
like
Heat series.
yeah, so that you can't top that. So this is the third leg. So far on the community parlay, we have the Sixers money line and the Cavs money line. Here's leg number 3, and then the fourth poll will be all the second place finishers in the poll.
That's got to be Jazz, right?
People know.
This
Oh,
one, yeah.
626 lunatic is entered the chat. That dude needs to be on medication every time he
Well,
comes in. I don't think I've ever seen him during the NBA show. He comes on during the NFL shows. It's out of his freaking mind.
Accurate name, at least.
Yeah,
His name's lunatic.
Yeah, I mean, he's not hiding it.
that's really good.
So yeah, this is Jazz money line by a runaway. Does anyone have a sports book open, by the way? So you
can have one
can tell me what the odds of this will be. So second place finishers were Pelicans money line, Warriors money line.
Put in Pelly's Warriors.
No. This is the new poll. The one we have now: Sixers, Cavs, Jazz.
Okay. You want me to put anything on a slip right now?
Yeah, Sixers, Cavs,
I got
Jazz.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
I got it.
Obviously, I'm incapable.
All right, and the last poll, finish out the community parlay. Looks like it's going to be Pelicans and Warriors battling it out here. Warriors boy says minus 295. Nah, I mean, Sixers is minus 7. Yeah, it's going to be a rough one because Cavs are minus 4. It's going to be a rough one, especially it's going to not be the biggest payout. But you know what? The last time we had a really square one, a real chalky one like this, it was plus 180 in a hit. So maybe chalk wins sometimes, guys.
So much work for 180.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end poll. And the winner is Shipley. We're not putting Pistons in it. Just go back to bed, bro.
Go shovel your driveway. I know it's not.
Pelicans is the last.
I don't know if this is where it's best offered, but on FanDuel you can get it at plus 341.
Oh, that's actually not as bad as I thought, to be honest. So today's community parlay: Sixers money line, Cavs money line, Jazz money line, Pelicans money line, plus 341. It's hit 3 of the last 5. Let's make it 4 out of 6 here. That'd be dope. And people asking about the website. I'm posting the final NFL picks, probably about 30 minutes. I'm going to do it right now. Let me just go take a piss, and I'll come back and do it.
Sorry, won't allow it.
I will put out a tweet and tag these two guys. Thank you for joining. Make sure you follow them on Twitter, taking their time out to come on the show. I appreciate it. Because Prop Beaver bailed again. He was up late last night working, making graphics. So give him a pass. But anyway, everyone, have a good day. Remember to bet responsibly. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do a college basketball show tomorrow. It'll be me, Toast, Andy. So if you're able to make it, let's talk some college basketball. Talk to you guys later.
Oh, yeah.
See ya.